you're not talking to somebody who's done it and can tell you what that road looks like, how do you know you actually want to live that life?
I'll tell you in maybe they're blunt force terms, but if you look in the mirror every day and then you ask your mom, am I attractive, am I pretty, am I handsome, am I thin, your mom's always going to say yes, isn't she?
That's right.
Yes,
but the reality,
most mothers will. Let's put it that way.
Most mothers will. We hope so. And that's kind of the point of entrepreneurship. If your circle of friends only includes people who've never really accomplished anything, and you're asking them the questions like, do you think this is a great idea? Do you think I can make millions? Do you think this is wonderful? They're probably all going to tell you, yeah.
Welcome back to Business Talk with Peters and Brown. We are here on KPHX 1480, the Valley's Progressive Talk. And we have with us still Anthony and Amelia from the Lucky Napkin. We want you to make sure you call in if you want to, 602-258-8800. And the reason we want you to call in is because you may be missing a once-in-a-lifetime chance to talk to people whose Rolodex can pretty much get you to everyone in the United States within about 7 layers. That's a pretty good Rolodex, I would say.
All right, I got a couple of things here, Anthony. When you and I were talking earlier in the weekend, discussing this segment, you came on with a few choice little tidbits, I think, and I'd just like to throw a few of these out at you and let you explain exactly what it was that we were talking about.
Absolutely.
One of it, I mentioned the word passion, and you said it's more than just passion.
It is more than just passion. Passion, and don't get me wrong, for all of the passionate people out there who are passionate about their businesses, etc., that's part of it. But entrepreneurship goes even deeper than that. Passion tends to be an overused word in our society and in motivational speaking, etc. The reality of what entrepreneurship is it's similar to a virus. It infects you at a very young age. And I think what we talked about is that you find me a kid out there, he might not have straight A's, but he's probably trying to be the president of the Future Business Leaders of America. He's trying to be the lead tuba player in his band. He's trying to be, or she's trying to be, the head cheerleader. And I'll probably show you somebody who has an entrepreneurial spirit that will manifest itself at some point in their life. That's the virus that kind of lays dormant inside of us until we have the opportunity for it to birth itself. And what Lucky Napkin is trying to do is trying to birth those giants, birth those entrepreneurs, and bring their spirit to life.
And if you look at a lot of people read about entrepreneurs, and every single entrepreneur that I have ever met, there is the story that they will tell you about when they were a kid. For me, when I was little, and I saw a flyer about Girl Scout cookies, that the person who won the most amount, sold the most amount of cookies, won $5,000. And we're talking way back when. I was like, oh my gosh, I want that. That's going to happen. And I rallied all of the girls in my neighborhood that were not Girl Scouts, and I said, here's what we're going to do. Here's our kickoff meeting. You're going to stay in front of this grocery store. You're going to go in front of this little 7-Eleven. We're all going to rally together, and we'll split the prize. At 9 and 10 years old, my mind already worked that way. We've all read the stories about the lemonade stand and, a young kid. And what happens is those behaviors as a kid manifest themselves into this road of entrepreneurship. And it's not just being passionate about a idea. We're passionate people. We love to not only win and thrive on success, but we also love to rally the team together to get everybody to the finish line, and that whole energy and dynamic that happens is contagious. It's something that, we're all, each one of us now are on our third or fourth business, and people go, what, are you going to retire? And I'm like, I don't think I could ever retire, because I'm always excited about the next idea or the next person that I can help get to the finish line. Until I die, it's just going to continue and continue and continue. I cannot turn it off. And
Pete, I'll tell you, I have to mention our two partners who are not on the phone with us here today, but Tom Reitz, for instance, the owner of Cantera Homes. Tom is flat out brilliant. He 4.0 type of guy. He could have any job in America. In fact, he worked for one of America's largest corporations at one time. The infection of entrepreneurship took him over, and he became a builder, completely out of the realm of what he was doing. Bill Kilberg shows up to work every day in a Hawaiian shirt and a pair of flip-flops because he can, because that's the way he wants to. Could probably work for anybody in America, but chooses to work for himself. And that's, and for us, Amelia and I, we're up in Flagstaff enjoying the weekend, holding business meetings while simultaneously trying to enjoy this poor weather we have right now. But that's part of entrepreneurship. This is why we do it and why we want to help others succeed as well.
What do you think about the idea that some people tend to fail forward for a while? I think, you try something and it doesn't work. I mean, should they stop, or should they say, you know what, that just wasn't the right idea?
Well,
or
you have two immense failures on the phone right now.
And I don't, I have such a, I think people misunderstand the word failure.
Right.
I don't really consider anything a failure. You went a certain direction and found out that way did not work, and you back up and you go a different way. So it's like being in a maze. For me, I just consider it more information. I don't ever really consider it failure. I just said, okay, that route doesn't work. Let's try another one. I mean, I don't even it doesn't even give me a hiccup. It doesn't even, the up and down of it for me is part of the journey that I thrive on, because it's like reading a good book. You get into a book, you love the book, and then when it's over, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to finish the last chapter because the book is going to be over. It's the journey that is so fun. The success is great, but it's really the journey that we thrive on to do it over and over and over again. And when I fail at something, if you want to use that word, that now energizes me to get into a conference room, throw the ideas up on the whiteboard saying, what was it? Was it the entire idea? Was it part of the idea? Was it the wrong person? That just energizes me even more to decipher it and come back and win again.
And right. I jump in to say that because I left with that word, we're both immense failures, and I mean that in the most affectionate way. I mean, the reality is that the majority of things you're going to do in life are probably going to fail by somebody else's definition. They really are. Whether you go into school, you're going to fail at certain tests. You're going to fail in sports. You're going to fail in love. You're going to fail in life in many different ways. The difference between the people who become successful are the ones who pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and I know it's an overused cliche, get back up on the horse and do it again.
Because the reality is that means you're one step closer to success. If in the divine intervention there's 10 steps to success, and you fall off the horse and you go, oh good, look, I'm now at 6, or I'm now at 7. I'm getting closer and closer to the end result. I can't tell you how many people quit in the 9th inning when there's 5 minutes left in the game when they were almost there.
Amelia, I love you.
Uh-oh.
I do.
Bad analogy.
Bad analogy, because in the 9th inning in a baseball game, we don't keep a clock.
Okay, sorry about that. You know what I meant.
Amelia, it sounded right to me for a minute.
There you go.
Well, when you speak about, and using a baseball analogy, and maybe this isn't the best in the world, but the fact is that a 300 hitter who is a hero in baseball fails probably 70% of the time.
Amen.
When he's going to swing and miss, strike out, whatever, get hit by a pitch, whatever, he's going to fail 70% of the time. So it's pretty interesting when you put it in that kind of a perspective that, there is nothing really that is failing about that kind of a performance.
That's right. The hard part for people is that when you fail in baseball, okay, maybe you dry your eyes, you go back to the bench, you get back up in the 3rd inning and the 4th inning instead of the 1st. The difference in entrepreneurship, when you fail, you probably lost $100,000 or $200,000, and now you have to cull together more money and try it again, and you may fail again.
And it's embarrassing because all your friends know what you were doing.
That's right, and you can't lose sight of the fact, and this is one of the truisms about the society we live in. Unfortunately, it's better in America than it is in other countries in the world, but there are people out there hoping that you fail, because misery loves company, and they don't want to see you achieve. And I tell anybody out there who's in a situation where you want to start a business, you want to get out and you believe you have a great idea, and you've surrounded yourself with a bunch of people who tell you can't do it, it won't work, it'll never happen, you'll always be X, Y, and Z. I tell them, walk away from those people. Come find us. Come surround yourself with people who tell you can do it. And
that's part of our seminar. We talk about, how to detect and what to do with your naysayers. Because you got to remember, sometimes the naysayers you can eliminate, and other times naysayers are your family. So we go through that whole process, and what do you do with these people, and how do you turn that negative into a positive, or how do you reorganize it so that it doesn't affect you